Hello, I'm Sherry from Whole Circle Studio, and welcome to our 12th Around the World Block of the Month destination. This month we're traveling to Australia, and in this video I'm going to share tips to help you piece your block. This month's block features Sydney and the Sydney Opera House. Completed in 1973, it's a fascinating piece of architecture located right on the harbor. In addition to this video, please be sure to refer to the tips included in the pattern, as well as other links below, including some foundation paper piecing video tutorials and previous month's videos. Let's get started. While you're preparing your paper pieces for this block, you'll see that there's also background templates included in this pattern. If you're piecing the letters, you'll want to prepare the short background template by trimming on the line. If you're not piecing the letters for your block, then you'll want to go ahead and prepare the long background template. Cut on the dashed line of the left-hand side piece and then carefully match to the right side of the piece and tape both the front and the back, like here. I prefer to leave about ½ inch of paper, extra paper on one side of the template, so when the other piece lays on top, I can then match and tape. I find this makes the paper template more stable and precise. You can then go ahead and cut along on the outer line and pay attention to the pattern for how to proceed. Like you did with your India block, be sure to pay special attention to your fabric swatch chart when cutting your fabric pieces and then assigning them to your paper pieces. You'll see on the paper pieces and in the chart that the background of the block is unshaded on the papers and that the building is shaded. Since I decided to do the reverse with value in my fabrics, I made the background, which is unshaded, this purple color, and the building that is shaded a lighter color here in gray. I just had to pay extra close attention to when I was cutting my fabric and paper piecing. Just go slow, be mindful, and you'll do great. You can also, as a reminder, take a pencil and just write in the sections what color fabric you want where, just as an extra reminder. Some of the fabric you'll be cutting for is for the bottom of the tag. I used a blue color since the building sits next to the harbor. Again, pay close attention to your fabric swatch chart as well as the shading in the tag. There is one paper piece section that completes the bottom of the tag, and that is shaded in a slightly darker gray. There are a couple of thin fabric strips that you'll need to cut out that won't be used for paper piecing, like this little strip here for the water and this strip here at the top of the block. Since you won't be using this fabric to paper piece with, instead you'll be matching it up with your paper piecing. I highly recommend starching this fabric prior to cutting. Because the strips are narrow, I find that starching this fabric before cutting it makes my piecing less distorted. And one last reminder, when joining the paper pieces together, be sure to look for these dots on the pattern. Use the positioning pinning technique described in the pattern as well as previous month's videos. This will help keep your seams aligned. And some of the angles might look a little tricky when joining the paper pieces, but just use the same process you have in the previous blocks and you've got this. I can't wait to see all of your blocks come together. Thanks again for being here and sewing along with us throughout the sew along. I've loved seeing your progress. Please be sure to continue to share using the Around the World hashtags found on the patterns so that we could see what you're working on. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. Happy sewing and quilting!